Bro, them jumps are nasty.
तो कैसे हैं आप लोग? As the title of this video says, these are some basic tips for the newcomers who are recently arriving in the Canada, and I know that now direct flights are open, so there will be a lot of newcomers coming to Canada. So this video is particularly dedicated to them. And who am I to give all these tips? So just to give you a background, I basically came in Canada in February 2021. So it's been more than 5 months, I guess, when I have been in Canada, and I have made lots of mistakes. I learned a lot of lessons, and I am not particularly expert in this topic, but yeah, I can say I am a learner, and I have learned a lot of lessons which I want to share with you guys. And you can consider it from not a YouTuber, but from your big brother or from your small brother, whatever you consider. Okay, so let me give you some really basic, but before going and jumping into the topic, I want to tell you why this particular topic is very important for you guys. So because it is very necessary to understand the importance of something before learning it, right? So what is the importance of this video? The first and very important thing is your environment. Your environment heavily influences what you think, what you do, and how you get successful and how quickly you get successful. When it comes to Canada, your environment is your roommates, your environment is your working place, right? So the better you have bond with your roommates or at your workplace, the better chances are there that you are going to be successful. So that is why that's the first thing, that if you want to be successful quick in Canada, I know there is no hard and fast rule for being successful, but you can succeed in a smarter manner, right? So networking is everywhere in the world a very quick way to get successful. The better is your network, the better is your personality and your habits, right? So that is why it is very necessary to have a good habits. And how you can have good habits, what are the particular things that you need to do to bond well with your roommates? This is exactly what I'm going to share with you guys today. As I said, I'm no expert, I'm just a learner sharing my learnings with you guys. So yeah, let me drop some tips and tricks that I learned along the way of my journey with you guys. Stay tuned. Now the first thing first, be a jack of all trades but master of none. What do I mean when I say that? So let me give you an example when I say this, because it's an easy way to understand things, right? So when I first came in Canada, what is my strong point? My strong point is that I am very good at speaking English or writing it down, because I have been content writer in past, right? So I am not that good in English, but yeah, I can explain myself in a better manner. So what I did is that when I initially came here to bond well with my roommates, I helped them with my English. Because most of my roommates were either on a work permit, my friends were on a work permit, so they wanted to apply to different companies with a good resume, and that is where my part comes into action, because I am good at writing. So I help them with the making points in the resume, writing down the cover letter and different things like that, for building portfolio even. So in the way of helping them, I learned a lot of things myself, because I came to know what is the job market here, what the industry asks from the student of mechanical engineering, what type of course I need to do. So that's the point. When you are helping others, you are helping yourself as well. And if you are average at something, or if you are better at something, you can share your learnings, your skills with your roommates or with your friends, and build a good bond with them, and also similarly simultaneously help yourself as well. So that's the point. That's the first point. Be a jack of all trades but master of none. It's not necessary that you need to be master in cooking, you need to be master at repairing things or something like that, but yeah, it's very necessary that you know the basics of cooking, you know the basics of repairing things, because it will help you when you are stuck at some crucial points, right? So that's the first learning that I have to share with you guys. I shared my personal experience as well. I have learned a lot of things while making resumes and cover letter. I will make a different video on it, but for now this is the first thing. Okay, so now let's discuss second point. The second point that I want to make here is that everybody in Canada who is living a student life or is on a work permit, mental peace is important for everybody. What do I mean by mental peace and why is it necessary? I know a lot of you already understand that, but just to give you a basic, Most of the people here are doing multiple things at a single time. They are maintaining their study, they are maintaining their work, they are simultaneously managing to stay in contact with their family, their friends, and they are trying to have some personal time. They are trying to stay mentally healthy. So there are a lot of things going on, and nobody really knows how to exactly maintain it well, right? Everybody is learning, making mistakes. So it's very easy to lose your what do they call it, it's very easy to lose your calm and get disturbed in here in Canada. So the first thing that you need to make sure is that when your roommates come in, or when you are having a conversation with them, never be strongly opinionated about anything. Respect their opinions, respect their conversations, and maintain your tasks well so that they don't get disturbed. Now this is all an theoretical knowledge. Let me give you an example so that you understand it well. What do I want to say here? So there is one example that I want to give you guys. So what happened is that there is one friend of mine who told me one story, and from there I derived this point. So what he told me is that there was one friend who came to their house. There are already 5 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and he moved in, and he was living in a main hall. He didn't have his own personal room, right? So what happened is that most of them are on a work permit, so they are mostly busy with their work. And that guy, he was looking for a house in the same city, and it was decided that till he finds out his own house, he will stay there. Okay, so the thing is, that guy was managing everything very well. He cleaned his utensils well. He instantaneously after the eating, he was maintaining everything well. He was maintaining the cleanliness. So he never disturbed anybody living in the house and never interrupted them. So they didn't even bother till 15-20 days and ask him when he is going to move out, because he never disturbed anybody at all. And that's the key point here. If you are doing everything well and not disturbing anybody, then people will respect you. So that's the point, right? I hope you guys understood using this example why it is necessary to not cross that boundary of mental peace and let people have their personal space, right? It will help you maintain your mental peace as well, right? So that's the second point. I hope you guys understood this second point. Now let's move on to the third point. Now let's discuss this third point. And I know when I say this, it is a very specific point and it is not that necessary, but if you understand this point well, it will help you immensely in bonding with your roommates. And what is that one thing that you need to do? That is cooking, right? Why cooking is necessary? You don't need to be a master at cooking, as I said in the second point, but if you know the basics of cooking, the small thing that you can apply to blend in with your roommates is that whenever you are cooking something, always cook something extra. Always cook it for the 2 or 3 people. So how that will help in blending with your roommates? So just imagine this scenario. Again, an example, right? So you are cooking at night at 9 o'clock because you just came in, right? You don't have a job for, say, just for an example. So you have time while your other roommates might already be doing the jobs, right? So if you are cooking, and just say for example you cooked for 2 people, and 2 of your roommates come at 11 o'clock in the night, and they find out that they have ready to eat food that you just cooked. Just imagine how thankful they will be to you. And the another thing that is advantageous here is that you can have a conversation with them while they are eating, and you can get to know what are the job opportunities in here and a lot of things like that. So yeah, it's a small basic thing that you need to understand, but it's very important, because you can't imagine how good it is to find out that you are very hungry, you just came back home and you have ready to eat food. It's immensely thankful when someone does something like that for you, right? So that's the small thing that you need to do. Always cook something extra and learn some basics. I know a lot of people don't give attention when they are learning it from their mom, or when they are learning it from their sisters, but it's very important. I can't tell you how helpful that will be to you when you follow this simple little principle of cooking something extra for your roommates. And yeah, just in case nobody is going to eat that particular thing that you cooked, it will be helpful to you for the next meal, right? You can always heat it up and eat yourself as well, right? So it's a win-win situation. You lose nothing and you earn a lot of things. That's the thing. I know I sound like a marketer or salesman here, but yeah, it's a very necessary and small little practical thing that you need to do. So that's it for the third point. Now let's come to the fourth point. Now what is the fourth point? The fourth point is don't stay within the close circle of yourself. Always blend in. I know some of you might be introvert and might not be that much comfortable with while talking with new people who are your roommates or people around you. But the thing is, even if you are introvert, just sit around with them. Just sit there when they are having a conversation and try to blend in and try to ask questions. The basic and very important skill that you can have is asking a good important question. Everybody wants to share their experience. Everybody wants to give advice. But if you ask a good question, they will instantly jump in and join you in the conversation. So I know a lot of you are internet friendly and know how to research about jobs, know how to research about opportunities available in your area. But the best internet that you guys can have is your roommates, because they have already been here for like 2 or 3 years or 4 or 5 months, and they already know what are the opportunities available here. So they will help you in giving you advice and guiding you in a proper manner. So yeah, that's the small simple thing that again you need to apply. Don't just stay in your room after you are done eating and start researching over the internet, because it's not that efficient. Believe me when I say this, I know a lot of you trust internet very much, but the better opportunities will always be with your roommates, because they have been experienced in this particular city. They know how to find the jobs. They know the specifications of the city. Just to give you an example again, when I initially came in here, my friend who was doing a job, he had a job opportunity available in the similar branch of that particular store. So when I was having a conversation with him, he offered me that there is a vacancy in this particular store, and if you want you can go there. And luckily I got the job there just because I was having a random conversation with him, and it helped me get a job. So that's the thing, always blend in, never stay in your close circle or in your room and try researching over the internet. Blend in. Now let's jump to the fifth point, and the fifth point is, it's a bit of psychological thing, and it's a common sense as well, but a lot of people don't understand that, and I have seen a lot of people doing the same mistake. So that's why I'm sharing with you guys here. When you are new here, you don't have experience. So if you don't have experience, do not have opinions, right? No experience, no opinions, as the Phoebe says in a Friends. Okay, so why I'm saying that? It's because the roommates that you have, they might be already experienced of living in here, so they know what grocery things need to be in common and what things don't not need to be in common. The common rule that I have seen here is that people have their milk, share their milk, do not share their milk, they have it individually. But the other things which are common, like masalas for cooking and all, they are in common, right? So when you come in here, don't start giving your opinions and telling them that you can keep this in common. In place of that, you can start from a point of question. You can ask them why this is in common and why this is not in common. It will help you understand as well, because it's quite obvious, or it's quite you can be pretty sure about it, that there was a reason why they put something in common when it comes to shopping something and eating something, and why something is not in common. So do not have opinions. You are allowed to have opinions when you are enough experienced in any field, right? Because opinions mostly come from a place of lack of empathy, right? You do not try to understand the situation of the particular scenario, and you instantly just jump in and give your thoughts, right? That's a bit of psychological thing that I learned, but yeah, that's the thing. Do not place an opinion when you are new here. Just ask questions. Questions are, I can't stress this enough, but questions are the most important thing that you learn when you are in Canada. If you ask good questions, you will get right answers. Now the another seventh point that I want to make in here is the very important thing, and it's the point which says always be aware of your surroundings. Now what do I mean when I say that? I will give you again an example. So what happened is that when I was in my previous house where we were living as a roommate, I made one mistake. So I was talking to my family, and I was very intensely giving one suggestion to my uncle, and my roommates mind it because they were doing some research on some particular topic, because they were research assistant in their university. So they got disturbed because of my high volume of talking with my family, right? So it's a very small mistake, but yeah, it disturbs the people when you are talking loudly on phone, when you are playing a loud music, when you are doing something which is considered as a disturbance to another people's life, right? So always be aware of your surrounding when you are talking to your talking with your family, or when you are talking with someone, right? So yeah, that's a very small thing, but yeah, it will help you immensely if you are aware of your surrounding, what you are doing, what you are not doing, what things you need to do when you are with someone. These are small things, but they make immense impact, because people, when they see that you are behaving in a certain polite manner, they instantaneously increase respect towards you in their mind, right? So that's the thing. Your character gets judged based on your actions which you are performing here. So you need to be very aware of very small things that you are doing. I know you might not exactly understand what I'm saying right now, because I also used to be ignorant of the small things that I did, but I made a lot of mistakes, and people used to, I was fortunate enough that my previous roommates used to point out my mistakes. I used to learn them, understand them. Sometimes I took them personally as well, which you don't need to do, because they are basically having an intention of improving you. And even if they don't have that intention, you can always improve upon yourself and be a better version of yourself, right? So yeah, always be open to opinions, someone else pointing out your mistake. Be aware of your surrounding, and yeah, live a better life. And now let's jump to the last and the next point. And the very last point that I want to make here is that always be open to relocate. Now, what do I mean when I say this? So there are chances that your roommates are pointing out your mistake, you are trying to understand and learn from them, but it's not always necessary that you are wrong, just like you can't be right always, right? So there are chances that your roommate and you share like high difference of opinions, because you are built and grown up in a certain environment, and they are grown up in a certain environment, right? So you might have a different opinions, and when this particular incident of argumenting with them or having a conversation with them about certain thing that you should not do in their opinion, you need to be mindful of that conversation, right? If the same things keep happening again and again, and you think your opinions and their opinions are very different, then you should be ready to relocate to some other place, because it's easy to find a new place and try to have a new life, then suffering at the same place and having to give trouble to others, right? So that's the thing. Always be open to relocate. It's not necessary that you can always get along with some people, because they might have different opinions, right? So that's the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys. There are very high chances that I might have missed some very important points. So if you have some suggestions, you can always drop them in the comments, and I will mention them in the next particular video, so that others people can get the information which they need. Because as I said, I am just a learner, I am no expert, so there are some points that I might have missed or I might have not mentioned in a proper manner, and you can improve upon them. So that's the thing. That's everything that I wanted to say for today. This is Brothers in Canada. We share information about newcomers in Canada, about people who wants to be PR, because we have some information like how you can get NOCB level job in here, how you can get a driving license. There are a lot of things, because my other partner who sometimes creates a video on this particular channel, he is right now on a work permit working a NOCB job in a company called Linamar, which is second largest manufacturer in North America. So he also has some very important information to share with you guys. We are thinking and planning of creating a video on how to get a NOCB job in your particular field, right? So there are lots of interesting stuff which is going to come up in the next upcoming weeks. So stay tuned and stay happy, stay healthy, and live a better life. Yeah, that's it from my side. This is Mehul Rathod signing off.